so I could call you mine. All the things you did, well, I hope I was your favorite crime. Hey guys, David from PassTheGuitar.live here for another song tutorial. In this video, we're going to be working on Favorite Crime by Olivia Rodrigo. And for this tutorial, we're going to be covering an easy beginner's version of the song. Basically, instead of the finger-picking pattern you hear on the original recording, we're going to be using a basic strumming pattern. And for that, you can use either a pick or your hand, whatever is the most comfortable for you. And when it comes to chords, to keep it simple and stay in the original key, we're going to be using a capo on the 2nd fret, so make sure you have one with you while you're watching this video. And that's all you need to know for us to begin this lesson. So if you are ready, you know the drill, let's waste no more time and dive right in. And to start, let's take a look at the list of chords we're going to need for this song. And don't forget, use your capo on the 2nd fret. We're going to do that so that we can keep the chords as basic as possible. So we need G major, E minor, D major, C major, and A minor. And these are all the chords we're gonna need for this song. And as you can see, these 5 chords are part of the most essential basic chords every guitar player needs to know. And you even see the 4 most used chords: G major, E minor, D major, and C major. One more song you can unlock by knowing these 4 chords. So make sure you practice them. And now that we have these chords and we know what we're going to be playing, it's time for us to take a look at what we're going to be using for a strumming pattern. And here it is. Don't get intimidated by all of the 16 notes you see here. This strumming pattern is the most used strumming pattern out there. But all you see in here is this strumming pattern subdivided with 16 notes. So if I substitute this with this one here with 8 notes, it would look less intimidating, but it's the same sound. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. And if I go back to the 16 notes, I'm just changing the way that I subdivide. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the. So the sound is basically the same, but you can also think that we're playing that strumming pattern 2 times per measure, because when we subdivide with 16 notes, now we hear that same pattern 2 times, as you can see here for beats 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now that you know the sound a little bit, make sure you're using the way that I'm counting, the subdivisions, because it's really going to help you play this rhythm and any other rhythm or strumming pattern you learn in the long run. So here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. The rhythm of the strumming pattern is basically the same rhythm of the finger picking pattern on the original recording. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Nice, right? We're playing a strumming pattern, but we're still sticking with the same rhythm of the original recording. Now that we covered that, let's plug in a chord. Let's use G major and practice the strumming pattern. Here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a D and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and tip before we move on. Make sure you keep moving your hand to the subdivision of the strumming pattern. In this case, 16 notes. 1 E and Da, 2 E and Da, 3 E and A, 4 E and Da. If you do that every time that you have to play, your hand is going to be moving in the right direction. I hope you guys are enjoying this lesson so far, and if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, click on that bell, and like this video. Now that we have the chords and the strumming pattern, it's time for us to take a look at the chord progressions and the form of the song. When it comes to form, this song is pretty standard. It comes packed with the traditional parts: an intro, verses, choruses, a bridge, and an outro. But although it comes with a bunch of different parts, we're only going to be using 3 different types of chord progressions. One for the verses, one for the choruses, and a special one for the bridge. The intro is basically only 2 measures of G major, and the outro is the same chord progression as the verse. So with that, let's start by taking a look at the chord progression that we're going to use for the verses. And it's this one here, a 4-bar phrase that starts with a full measure of G major, and for the second measure we repeat G major again. In the third measure we have E minor, and ending this 4-bar phrase with another E minor. And then notice that we have repeat signs here, so we're going to play the whole thing again, making a total of 8 measures. That's super nice. Well, let's plug in the strumming pattern right away and practice this verse. Here we go. 1 and A, 2 E and A, 3 E, A, 4 E and A, G, E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, E minor, 2 E and 3 E and A, 4 E and A, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, and then we repeat the whole thing again. Let's measure. 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Nice, right? Well, that's it. That's all we're gonna be doing for verses. And when it comes to the outro, all you're gonna do is play this chord progression one time and end on a whole note with a G major, like you see here. Super simple, right? Well, we already practiced this part with the verses. Now let's take a look at what we're going to be using and playing for the choruses. And it's this one here, another 4-bar phrase. And this time we start with 2 full measures of D major. And we end with 2 full measures of C major. Nice, right? Just like the verse, a 4-bar phrase that gets repeated. Well, let's plug in the strumming pattern and practice the chorus. 1 E and Da, 2 E and Da, 3 E and Da, 4 E and Da, 1 E and Da, 2 E and Da, 3 E and Da, 4 E and Da, 1 E and Da, 2 E and Da, 3 E and Da, 4 E and Da, C major, 2 and 3 3 E and Da, 4 E and Da, 1 E and Da, 2 E and Da, 3 E and Da, 4, and repeat everything. E and Da, 3 E and Da, 4 E and Da, 3 E and up, 2 E and Da, down, down, up, E and Da, C major, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and up. And that's most of the song. We covered verses, choruses. We basically covered the outro because the outro is the same chord progression as the verses. And the intro is just 2 full measures of G major before we hit the first verse. Now it's time for us to take a look at the bridge, which is the most special part on this song because everything changes here. Take a look at it. Now we're looking at an 8-bar phrase. There are very good similarities with the song itself, but the first half of the bridge, we're going to be playing long notes. As you can see here, we start with a measure where we play a whole note with A minor. And then on the second measure, we're gonna play a half note on E minor for the first half of the measure, and then another half note for D major for the second half. And that 2-bar gets repeated again. On the third measure, we have a whole note with A minor. And moving to the fourth measure, we have a half note on E minor, and then another half note on D major. And after that, we're gonna jump back into the strumming pattern. And then we're gonna play a full measure of C major, followed by a full measure of G major, back to a full measure of C major, and then ending with a full measure of G major right before we head into the last chorus of the song. And don't forget to keep an eye on patterns and repetitions. Although there are 8 measures here on the bridge, the first 4 measures are actually a 2-bar phrase that gets repeated. So first measure is the same as the third, and the second is the same as the fourth. And when you move to the second line, you just move between C major and G major, and then again C major and G major. So a lot of repetition here. Now let's plug in the strumming pattern and practice the bridge. But don't forget that the first line we're actually going to play whole notes and half notes. Here we go. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and A minor 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and E minor and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and now that we covered everything we need to know in order to play this song, it's time for us to put everything to practice by doing a playthrough some parts of the song. I'm gonna do a verse, a chorus, and I'm also gonna do the bridge. Let's start with a verse, and I'm gonna do verse 2. Here we go. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, up. You used me as an alibi. I crossed my heart as you crossed the line, and I defended you to all my friends. And now every time a siren sounds, I wonder if you are around, 'cause you know that I do it all again. To E and up, E and up. Great, now let's do a chorus. Here we go. 1 E and 2 E and all the things I did, just so I could call you mine. 4 E and 1 and 2 the things you did, 2 E and well, I hope I was your favorite ride. All right, now let's do the bridge. Here we go. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and it's bittersweet to think about the damage that we do, 'cause I was going down and I was doing it for you. Yeah, everything we broke and all the trouble that we make, and I say that I hate you with a smile on my face. Oh, look what we became. And that's a wrap for this tutorial. I hope you guys had fun and learned a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want to learn other songs, don't forget to check out our playlist Song Lessons and Tutorial, packed with tons of your favorite songs that you could start playing right now. So what are you waiting for? Head over there. My name is David Cordero, and I'll see you guys on another video.